Hello and welcome to part 3. I'm Karen and we're crocheting my easy converse slipper, and in this section we're going to be making the tongue. So to start off with, we are going to do the little white bit there at the front. So we need our white, and we are going to, what we're going to do, we're going to cast on, and then we're going to do a chain of 3. So that's 1, 2, 3. 8 half double crochet into the third chain from the hook. So that's 1, 2, 3, which is your beginning stitch. So we need to do 8 half double crochets. That's 1, 2. Ooh, that's stuck. 2, 3, 4, 5, sorry about that, 6, 7 and 8. Round 2, chain 1 and work 2 single crochet in each stitch, so we have 16 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and that last one's turned over a little bit, 15, 16. Now to straighten up this top piece, what I did is I worked another single crochet in the same space, so that's 1, then over the bar of the half double crochet I worked 2, so that's a total of 3 stitches. Over the centre piece I'm going to work 2 stitches. I'm not worrying about pulling it tight right now, so that's 5 stitches. Then we're going to come over the bar again of the opposite side of, we did a chain 1 and a half double crochet there, didn't we? So that's 2, so that makes 7, and then into the very beginning where we was doing our other single crochet we do 1 more, which gives us a total of 8 single crochet, and then we slip stitch into the next single crochet along, and then we can pull the centre piece tight. And remember, on this one we need to leave a longer piece than normal so that we can actually attach that to the actual base of the slipper. I'm just going to pull that through there. And this is where I say to you that I suggest that you make 2, because if you make them both at the same time, try and make sure that they're looking the same. Like little, it's like little moons with a bit chopped out. A 3/4 of a moon or something. Anyway, now we need to get the same colour yarn that we used for the sides, so I'm getting my silver grey, and then I'm going to leave a long tail again, this time longer than normal, because on the actual tongue I work a slip stitch all the way around, and whoops daisy, and that's where I'm going to pick up this bit of yarn to work with. So I'm going to make my magic loop, leaving a very long tail. Now when we pick up our little toe piece, there's a little stitch that you can see, the round circle there where you've slip stitched it. We don't want to count that as a stitch, so we're going to count back 8, so we ignore that one and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8, and in the 8th stitch we're going to cast on with a single crochet, and then we single crochet back in the next 7, so we have a total of 8. So that's 1, this one's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whoopsie daisy, 7 and 8. Now then, for this particular pattern, for this particular tongue, so it's the correct length to meet the same as the side, so it's coming up along there, we need to do 8 rows. Am I correct? Yep. Do 8. So we've chained 1, turn, and then work 1 single crochet in each stitch. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and remember you've got that bit of that casting on stitch, 8. Chain 1, turn, so that's 2 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whoops daisy, 7 and 8. So that was 3 rows done. Chain 1, turn, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Chain 1, so that was row 4 done. And turn, chain and single crochet across again. So this is that's single crochet number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So that was row 5. Chain 1, turn, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Chain 1, turn. Which row are we on? That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is number 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8, and then chain 1, turn, and this is the 8th and last row. Round. It's very confusing, is crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. And there we go. Now we can just cut off, leaving a normal length tail, and pull that through. Now this is where you can get a little bit tangled up, because you have got 2 lots of very long pieces. So what we're going to do now is you need to get the grey and push your hook through and catch hold of your yarn and pull it through the other side, and then we're going to slip stitch, just 1 slip stitch in each row all the way up to the top. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whoopsie daisy, and 7. There is actually 8 because I actually started in that 8th row. And it works the same when you go across as well, because you've already got 1 stitch there. If you count across now, you'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, and then as you come down it'll be another 7. 1, whoops, so easy, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, because you don't count that stitch twice, do you? And then we're going to pull that through to finish off there. Now all I've got to do is just sew that in, and I've got far too much left over, so I'm just going to cut that off a bit, make my life easier. And we're going to get the ends and sew you're sewing all of the tails except for the really long white one in the centre. It's not actually at the centre, at the side, for you sewing in there. I'm going to come through to the opposite side to finish off that stitch so it looks nice and neat there. And then we're going to carefully work into these stitches at the back there. Turn over and check I haven't come through. We don't want to do the dreaded big stitch thing. I've done that before and it was really upsetting because I couldn't undo it and had to start all over again. And it's not that they take particularly long, it's just that you've just spoilt a piece of work that was an avoidable spoil. So avoid it if you can. Make sure you remember that the sewing in is very important, really, especially with the slippers and things, because they are for babies and they're going to be on and off and on and off lots of times, probably in and out babies' mouths and rolled over by your buggies or prams or whatever, and so you want them to be quite tough to look after things. Now I'm just going to get my other little toe piece, because I've actually pulled that one tighter, so I want to pull this one a little bit tighter so that they match before I sew in the end. So I don't want it to be, I don't want one with a big hole in the centre and the other one to not. So if you want to have the bigger hole, you can leave the bigger hole. It's entirely up to you for that bit. But the rest of it, I really do recommend you follow the instructions, because I can't remember them off by heart. I find it very strange when patterns come to my head and they do that. They just turn up and I even dream about them. It's really weird. So just thought I'd share that bit of useless information with you. Well, I'm full of it, but I also do have some interesting information. Like I said, the information that I've discovered about the granny square, I'm really impressed, and it was actually by accident that I found out something that's not historically known about as such, but it is recorded, but not how you'd think it would be recorded. But anyway, we're right at the end now, and like I said, I'm going to give you that information and share with that in the video where I actually do the back stitch. So for now we shall concentrate on our little toe pieces, our tongs. I've always wondered why they call it a tongue on a shoe. I suppose it's the appearance of it looking like a tongue, like a human tongue or an animal tongue. Okay, so now you're going to get your piece that you've already made. You're going to get your hook, and you're going to put your hook through where you've done that single crochet stitch into there, and that stitch there. That's the first one of your 16 stitches, and that stitch is got that. Now what you're going to do is work into the same space as the very first, where you joined on your colour onto the base there, and so pull your yarn through there. We're just slip stitching, by the way, if I can get it through. And then what you want to do is you want to pull that stitch nice and tight, so that's all nice and snug just there. And I know this doesn't look at all like it's going to fit, it really doesn't, but that's just because these stitches are closer and these ones look further apart. There's the same amount of stitches, and this is what helps stiffen it up as well. It gives it more oomph. So we're going to work into the next stitch along, go underneath two strands of yarn, and then you can see where you've come through with this one there, to make sure you're definitely going to work into the next one. Okay, and you're just going to marry up the stitches. I hope I'm allowed to use marry up your stitches like that in a non-marital way of. Everything's so politically correct these days, isn't it? It's really scary what you can say and what you can't say. And because I never ever want to offend anybody by saying something accidentally that I didn't, how to explain that? Innuendos, that's it, isn't it? It's where people twist your words to mean something completely different. And, well, I'm definitely one of those people that can say things and people will twist it into something else, as I just don't notice it until it's too late. But we all have our little quirks and our little ways, and they're the things that make us who we are, aren't they? So with our personalities, and where am I? Definitely going to that one there. Yeah, see, it still looks like it's really far away, but it really isn't. So don't worry and don't panic, because honestly, I have crocheted lots and lots and lots of these, and did panic and did make mistakes and did make the tongs too big, and then the slipper wouldn't fasten, and I've made them where this bit fits, but then this bit is too short, and I was like, no. But it's all trial and error when you're writing down a pattern and working things out of what your stitches you need to go where. And then that last stitch you're going to do is you should finish in exactly the same place as where you finished off on the opposite side. There. And if you followed the pattern like I've shown you, then it will fit, because as you can see, we have the proof that it's there. Now I know this doesn't look right now, it looks a little bit strange, and it's still quite floppy, but please don't panic and don't worry, it's perfectly fine. I'm just going to cut off a little bit of my excess yarn that I've got there, get my needle, and just, whoopsie daisy, and just sew in this piece here so it's all finished, and then we'll be ready to go on to the next video. And so where I've come through there and I've finished that slip stitch, I'm going to come back through and through to the outside there, and I sew in down this side. I personally just think it's easier. There we go, and we pull that through there, and that first stitch there where I'm actually attaching that toe to there, I do pull that bit tight because I want it all to be secure, and then I work back on myself and come back through, but I don't pull tight when I go this way, because you don't want to actually scrunch up all of your work, because if you pull that too tight and you scrunch it up there, you're going to alter your shoe size, so you have to be very careful. Oops. I still think I'm ready for a new pair of scissors. I haven't found any that I really like. Anyway, there we are. At this point you will have something that looks like this. I'm like, it's okay, it really is. See, because what we're going to do next in the next video is we're going to be doing the stitching around the edge, and I shall be giving you the history of the granny square that I've discovered, and then after that we need to make ourselves our second sole, and we'll fit that on as well. Okay, so thank you for watching, thank you for liking, thank you for subscribing, thank you guys for being really patient in waiting for these videos, and I will catch you. Oh, which one is this? Is this part just in part 3? So part 4 is the next video. Bye for now.